Hey guys, just checking in this week. Really busy weekend for me. Actually, I was down in Cabela's for a couple of days for Clam Corp. Really cool weekend. A couple things I want to touch on. That it's a healthy debate. I'm not arguing with anybody, but I've heard my buddy Ian West refer to that fishing's dying if we don't get millennials on board. Well, I'm going to market to the millennials right now, just like Ian does. So I'm flat brimming for you, buds. Good? How am I looking? Fresh? Dope? How am I looking, bud? Good? What do you think? No. It's not me. It's you, bud. It's all good. Anyways, so he says fishing's dying. Well, if any indication from the weekend at Cabela's, I can tell you fishing's not dying. I had at least 4 people walk up to me while working at the store and say, we've never ice fished before in our lives, and we'd really like to get into it. We'd like to try it. What should I buy? And I think what happens is, and we had my buddy Charles was over. We were talking about that night because I was kind of mind blown by this. But I think after we talked about it for a bit, I think we've come to realize that because of the circle of people, of anglers that we hang out with, we've lost track of that common weekend angler. Yeah, they see our stuff, they watch our stuff, but we don't really bump into that much. So spending 2 days in the store, having these people approach you and ask you for their help, for your help that they want to buy some stuff to actually get into our sport of angling, was really refreshing. And it kind of blew me away a little bit that people had never ice fished before living in Canada, but they had never ice fished before. So I hooked them up. One couple went home with a nice clam hub that they'll stay warm. But some rods and reels, and the gear was moving. So, but it was mostly new anglers. And I guess for the local shops that are struggling with Cabela's being in their area, I don't think you're really going to be hurt by Cabela's that much, because they're targeting a completely different market. It's intimidating and difficult for someone that has never angled before to just walk into a shop and say, I have no idea what I'm doing. Can somebody set me up? It would be intimidating for them. But when you drive by Cabela's, it looks like your cottage, and it's very inviting. And there's all kinds of stuff going in the store that actually makes that curb angler that's just starting to get on the fringe of it, that now he has a comfortable place that he can go and shop. So I think there's room for it in the market. The specialty stuff, I'm still hearing from the guys. I heard from them this weekend when I was there that they came in for this, they came in for that. Real specialty items, they don't carry it. They're likely never going to carry it. So you are going to have that market. The other guys in the area have that market cornered. They have your high-end fluorocarbon. They have your different jigs that you're looking for that Cabela's won't, and they probably will never carry it. So the specialty shops all are going to have a spot too. But it was really neat to see how many people actually came in and actually were starting to get fishing. Now, age groups, I had a couple that were probably mid-50s that had never ice fished before, that were snowmobilers that wanted to come in and go ice fishing along the trails as they went. Never ice fished before. They bought an auger, a couple of rods. They were set. I had fathers and sons, I had fathers and daughters in shopping together, picking up some ice fishing stuff. So we're getting into the argument of how are we going to replace the baby boomers in the fishing market. So reality is, I'll just tell you the history of how I got involved in fishing. So I started fishing growing up on the Otter River, spending my summers up on the Otter River, and my dad got me in fishing. So a lot of the times that's the case where it's a father, uncle, grandfather that gets you fishing. So I fished from basically 6 or 7 years old to that age where you turn into a bit of a jackass teenager, 15 to 20, where you have other interests, chasing skirts, whatever you're doing, right? Sports takes over, or girls takes over, or whatever the case may be. And for some cases, it's girls that are fishing, and now boys take over. So you kind of get away from it for a few years. So what ends up happening is if you've ingrained that in kids from the age of 6 to 12, which I think the fishing market is doing a beautiful job with that. There's more kids derbies now. There's more involvement with kids in events across, especially in Eastern Ontario, that they are ingrained to fish. They've been exposed to it, and they're doing it. A lot of my clients, they bring out young kids. It's fantastic to see, and the kids love it. So I think rather than trying to market to a 15 to a 20-year-old who really he has no idea what he's doing in his life, he doesn't even know what he likes. It changes from day to day. If you've ever talked to one of these kids, it's like talking to a wall, really. So trying to market to that group, I think, is nearly impossible because they have no idea what they want in the first place. So if you've ingrained in them when they're young, they come back to it. When they're back, they're done school, they've got a job, they've got some money, and they're looking for something to do that they enjoy doing. I like to fish. I remember when I used to fish when I was a kid, they get back into it. Classic examples of that. Most of the time when I'm fishing now, I'm the old fart. Half the guys I fish with are like 10 to 15 years younger than me, which is, they keep me moving, especially on the ice, right? It's great. But a lot of these younger guys, 20 to 25, up to 30, they're fantastic anglers. They are the next generation of good sticks and I'm not even talking tournaments because we won't talk about it. I'll get into tournaments at some point, probably when I get in the next few weeks when I have a little bit of time as to what I think is happening in the tournament market. But let's just talk good anglers that you're going to see day in, day out on social media, your fish hawks, your message board, known good anglers. They're getting younger. They're good sticks. I'm not going to name them because I'm going to forget somebody. You all know who I'm talking about. They're really good sticks and good people. That's the big part of this is that, Big Jim's not going to do this forever. I'm not going to do this forever. We're all not going to do this forever. So we need people, young, good, smart, respectful people that are going to continue in the fishing industry, that are going to be approachable, decent people that are willing to help people. And I'm seeing it in younger people in their 20s that are fantastic. And they're already doing it now, and they're just biding their time. And they're smart because they're just being fishermen, they're being polite to people, and they're helping people. And that's all, at the end of the day, that's all you really have to do to be a marketable angler in this. Sure, you can do your truck pretty and your boat wraps and all that, but if you're a person that people want to talk to about fishing, that a reliable person, that you're respectful, and you help people, that's who is going to be the next generation of popular anglers in Canada. It really has very little to do with tournaments. People won't like to hear that, but that's the reality, because no one cares about our tournaments up here. If I could ask you right now, who won the last 3 Canadian Opens, Thousand Islands Open, B1, FLW, I'd be shocked if you could name 10 of the 12, or 2 of the 10 of the last winners of those events. Nobody cares. Yeah, your buddy may have won it. I don't know what year he won it. It's irrelevant. Being a good human being, helping people in this industry is what's really going to drive it forward. So, those are the guys that are going to do it. It's in good hands. We're not going to lose fishing. Fishing's not going to die. It's going to be okay, right? There's a bunch of other pressures that are happening to it within the industry itself that's kind of eating itself, but maybe I'll touch on that another time. But I got to get going. I'm going fishing. It's my last night to fish for a week because we're actually going away, Birdie and I, and a bunch of our friends. We're actually headed to Cuba tomorrow. So, and then I'm going to come back for 5 days. We're even talking about maybe doing one of these down on the beach. My buddy Marcus and Charles Sim are going to be on this trip, so it's going to be a pretty fun trip. We may pull the camera out depending on how it goes. But then we're going to fish for 4 or 5 days when we get back, and then we're off to Florida. Now, before you go, oh, must be nice. RJ leads a charmed life. Yeah, traveling all over. Yeah. Well, last summer I worked 90 straight days. Between the boat and the chip run, 90 straight days. I had 1 day off that we canceled because of weather, and then I did 31 in a row after that. So when you were doing your tournaments and vacationing with your family, enjoying your weekends off and fun fishing, I was working. So this is my downtime. I've earned it, and I'm going to take it. So we'll catch you later. maybe I'll catch a couple fish tonight and show you. So I made it out on the ice, and I'm looking pretty fresh, I think. Pretty fresh, pretty dope. That's what Ian West would say. That's what my buddy Ian West would say. So if you want to follow Ian, Fear Fishing, he does these vlogs every day. The only thing I'll say to Ian is less trips to the dump, less inside bow shooting, more fish. You've caught 2 fish in 45 logs, but pick your game up. Come on. Ooh, lucky. Just a little fella on the rattling blade spoon. So back in the truck, not great fishing tonight. 6 little walleyes. I had some video going in the shack, but lighting's an issue. I'm all shaded and it's not great, so I'm not even didn't include that tonight. But yeah, 6 little peanuts, probably 14 inchers, not keepers, but still a fun night. Beautiful outside. It's probably 0 right now. So just wrapping it up, heading her home, have a bite to eat, and I should probably start packing for Cuba. Birdie and Ariel have been packed for a week, and I pretty much got to start tonight. So until then, have safe time on the ice in the next week. And there's a thaw coming, but play safe. It shouldn't affect the ice too much other than maybe Quinny. But locally, I don't think it's going to do too much. So get out, enjoy it. It's going to be nice to fish in some warmer temps. And the fish could be chewing. So good luck. Talk to you when I get back.